So now let me present our second featured reader for today, Dale Champlin. I don't know Dale really well, but I know her through OPA, and now I get to know her a little better this time. And I asked Dale to send me a bio, so here's what she wrote. Dale Champlin is an Oregon poet with an MFA in Fine Arts. She's the editor of The Verse Weavers and director of Conversations with Writers. Dale has published in Voice Catcher, North Coast Squid, Willowall Journal, Mojave River Press, The Opiate, and other publications. During the month of January 2019, Dale wrote a poem a day as part of the Tupelo Press 3030 project. In November, she published her first collection, The Barbie Diaries, with Just a Lark Books. One of the accolades for her book from feminist poet Penelope Scambly Schott says, "Who knew you could write an epic poem about Barbie?" Dale Champlin has done it. The Barbie Diaries opens with fresh insights into the usual Barbie Ken tropes and then moves, always at Barbie scale, into the larger vicissitudes of time. This collection is completely charming. You will laugh at the early poems. The later poems may bring you to the edge of weeping. So please welcome Dale Champlin.
Yeah, I'm tall. How's that sound? Good?
Good.
Good? No, I'm good. I would like to thank Burnin Down the Barnes. I would like to thank Barnes Noble, Stephen Blue, and Charles Castle. I'd like to thank the editor of Barbie Diaries, Colette Tennant, the editor of Willowa, Rachel Barton, and many poet friends from here and north of here. I'd like to thank my co-reader, Melissa. What a wonderful reading. There's so many lines in there that are wonderful poetry. I'd also like to thank my husband, who is supposed to drive me here, but he forgot his driver's license, so I drove myself. I'll start out with a few poems that don't relate to Barbie, but this is my book. I'm so proud of it. It's already a bestseller in Portland. Yay. And help yourself to a free postcard that has one poem on it, plus the wonderful foreword that my husband wrote is on the back. I'll start out with an Ars Poetica, and I just learned what that really means. It means you're writing about yourself and your relationship to poetry. So here goes. Ars Poetica. I ordered a poem like a taco, fish doused in pickled red cabbage, a dollop of sour cream on the side. Another time, the poem I ordered on Amazon arrived with one corner crushed. The delivery guy stuck it on the edge of the porch where it warped in the rain. Most days my grandchildren soak up all my energy. When it's time for me to leave in the evening, to sally forth, frolic my way out of there, so to speak, one or the other wraps around my foot like a parking boot. I don't have the stamina for this, I tell them. When I get home, my energy level has dropped so low, I have to will myself to pick up one foot after the other, let alone this black Pilot rollerball pen. I don't want my poems to sound exhausted. They should take on the dimensions of a dream, falling from the sky onto a field of asters, white trillium, and viburnum, say. I crave something odd, too, something that compels people to keep reading. I need words to spill from my pen, prolific as ocean krill, waving up and down, tasting of salt and kisses. Thank you. Mint julep. The possum isn't pretending, snug up against the curb, on its bed of leaves, under a blanket of maggots. I try not to breathe and grasp his curled pink tail. It does not come off when I lift the heft of him and drop him into a garbage bag. The maggots wriggle. Yesterday I bought mint at the farmer's market. I make mint juleps and mojitos. Crushed mint infuses my lingerie with its scent. I mix mint jelly into vanilla ice cream. A bouquet of mint and lilies graces my sideboard. The man I live with, the one who should have cleaned up the possum and will soon leave me and move to Cuba, says, "There's such a thing as too much mint." I know some of you have heard this one before, and I've changed one word for the reading here. A fruit fly takes stock of the bread box. You know the word. Of everything in here, better than a petri dish, these gobs of ripe fruit, the subtle crunch of ancestors' wings, my red eyes bug out, eat, mate, drone, reproduce, die. No need to clean the floor or dream about what might nestle in the refrigerator. Vidalia, such a lovely name, a name I thrive on. I plant my babies in a banana, slurp and squish, eat and procreate, all without blinking. I don't marry. I am not cautious. I fly about naked and don't drink coffee. I believe in reincarnation. With my DNA, I will always come back as a fruit fly. And then I decided for February to write a love poem a day to my husband. Right there, gussied up as a lumberjack. In praise of you, after Dorothy Lasky, poem to an unnameable man. In praise of the fireball that is you hurtling across the sky, which has just now begun to catch fire, but I dare not look away, even though the sparks you are shooting make little scorch marks on my face. You are some kind of angel, but not heartless after all. Not tonight, though I might scream like an amusement park screams. Spill and split like stars darting out of your path. The way your blues have taken off my clothes and wood smell after dark. The way owls carry off a meal in that soundless way only feathers can carry. Or fission and fusion huddle in a field of violets, and hamsters do it doggy style. I want to spend you like a Rockefeller, the same way bourbon neat goes down burning and streetlights blur through my lashes when I squinch my eyes almost but not quite shut. And there might be a tear or two caught between the lashes. Come morning, mist is on the loose, and you blow my fuse because everyone knows the toaster and microwave can't be on at the same time. My heart might flutter like a bird, but it still looks like a giant strawberry on my MRI. Even now, goosebumps rise to the surface of my skin, and outside snow wheels and eddies. Cherry trees blossom in the middle of winter, and by spring, green pushes its way to daylight. This is a different kind of love poem, and it's not autobiographical at all. Once I dreamed. We sat together at the end of summer, the cool blue mirror spread before us, contrails of cocaine light up in rows from us to San Francisco. I hear you as if you are with me now, calling like sunlight glinting from the lake's surface. I am submerged looking up. My hair floats around me in green drifts of seaweed, waving to and fro in the current. I can breathe. I muscle my way through pipes in my underwater basement. Flights of stairs rise up on either side like music. The moon scrubs the sky, reflected in my favorite stainless frying pan, and yet, remember how you taught me heartache and told me that our love was silly, that food was poison and the marrow in our bones was brick? Before you threw my pillow into the fireplace, I cried because I thought it was a bird with all its feathers burning, and the terrible stench of it made us both sputter and cough until we choked. A Dolly Parton song played on the radio, maudlin but true. This one's a true story. I watch my mother play. The smallest, she runs out of breath, learning her place in the wolf pack, her house locked tight, no key in sight. Each room hers to rampage. Too bad. If a snake guards the door, how can she get in? At dusk she gathers fireflies, smears their bright juice on her arms and dark fern shadow face. Her brothers pedal her into the gutter, twist her ankle in their wheel spokes, beat her with a sharp stick, gnaw her like a bone, until she is hollow. After all the night moths are captured in mason jars, those brothers leave without her. In darkness she remembers to forget her terror of inaudible bat song, but when the moon rises in the east, she feels in her limbs a dance coming on. And I'll end this portion with another Ars Poetica. I caught a poem in a butterfly net, but it was so hot it burned a hole and plunked down on my toe and set my nail polish on fire. All I wanted was something ethereal blue as a bug zapper, or something about a gibbous moon lurching its way between clouds that were raining on my midnight parade. I wanted a poem devoid of irony, full of sweet nothings, dancing the Charleston while a porno movie was flickering on a screen in the background, but not getting stuck on one frame and scorching with a whiff of burning tires. I was hoping for chrysanthemums and lilacs, virgin nipples with pale pink aureoles, not the orange and black kind with wings that go screeching through damp foliage. I desired dahlias and sunflowers, butterflies alighting on the shoulders of plump babies, snow forming a thin crust of ice, and clouds shaped like breaching whales, a poem that speaks volumes about love and loss and the inevitability of death. The rest of the poems I'll read just now are from this book. And I'll read the first one I wrote, which was published in Mojave River Review. Writing weird. Since you left, I've been writing weird. In my effort not to crawl back to you, I starve myself to a whisker moon. Alone in lostness with my new Barbie body, I teeter across the 4-lane in 6-inch stilettos without a blink of my swimming pool blue eyes. All 4 lanes screech to a stop. It must be that my waist-length bleach blonde tresses blind those attention-starved drivers. I remember our camping trip to Reno in my bubblegum pink convertible camper with its cabana awning and fold-up recliners. We called Route 66 a river, squatted in the motel, and swilled dry martinis. We didn't care if the beer nuts were stale. We'd cashed in our chips, sold our condo in Malibu, and put the twins in foster care. Where are you, Ken? I miss your square jaw. Possession. I was her first Barbie. She used to carry me everywhere, prop me by her bowl and feed me chocolate ice cream. She held me in her arms and took me to bed at night. Then she lost one of my shoes. My leg joint got loose. She tattooed her name on my back with a ballpoint pen and nail polished my nipples day glow. After her mom's hairdryer scorched my hair, she cut off the burnt ends. It was not an improvement. I thought I was priceless, but I was replaceable. I can't leave it up to Ken to rescue me. He's preoccupied with his wardrobe. His stone-cold eyes never glance in my direction. Once he told me to get a job, but with my tiny hands, I can't hold more than a sliver. Barbie's Pleasure Cruise. When Ken and I took a cruise to the Bahamas, he made sure I was aware that we were drinking used water. By the end of the trip, every sip would have passed through hundreds of bladders. Our immense ship, one of the Queens, made for extended intimacy. Our overused cabin, my mildewed bikinis, Ken sulking whenever he lost at shuffleboard, adrift beyond my control, my mood as steely blue as the ocean at dusk. After each meal, deckhands threw leftovers overboard, where they attracted sharks and screaming seagulls. When they locked up the jock who pushed his fiancée into the wake of the ship, I understood where he was coming from. Back then, the Atlantic was already a wasteland, whaleless and deserted. Even so, I kept searching for a plume or a lighthouse beacon on the horizon. Each night the moon shone like a flashlight over the wrinkled skin of the sea. I prayed for an iceberg to break up the monotony. Well, I'll just do one more Barbie. Barbie ends up in the bottom of a pool. And the title of this section of the book is called The Year Barbie Spent at the Bottom of the Pool. Let's see which one I'll read. How I wanted to be that sky, Ocean Wong. I see now how light bends when it touches water, starlight needles to the bottom of my pool, satellites silver ball bearings shoot in their arcs, transmitting either happy news or dire regrets. My blank stare horizonless, my isolation tank full, my heart swamped with remorse and hope, every drop drowned in longing. At night the pool's unfathomable weight hovers between me and my desire, occasionally interrupted by the Klieg light of the moon. And the back of the book is equally as important as the front. Thank you.
That seemed to go so fast. That was delightful, Dale. Let's give Dale Champlin another hand. Okay, so we'll take a short break, about 10 minutes, and then we'll come back for the open mic.